You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm here. Is this working? Let me know if it's working. Let me know. How's everyone doing? Good? Yes? Let me know if you can hear me and everything's working, because this is the first time I'm doing this by myself. Yay! Okay, good. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? Now, okay, let me explain this. I'm wearing the Fire Cashman shirt, but I don't, it was one of my only clean shirts. So this isn't like this isn't a message to anyone, just saying. So with the way that game started, I didn't think that this would be the result. So very exciting. Yankees win 5-4 in Houston. That last or second to last play, the throw to home by Soto, unbelievable. Although I think it could have been turned over if there were more evidence to the contrary of Trevino not touching Dubon in time, but we'll take it. Hope everyone's doing well. So that was an interesting game, kind of like a tale of two games sort of thing, where the first two innings are terrible and then things start to get better. And it's always nice to see the Yankees come back, especially against Houston. Yes, here. Yes, that's exactly why they got Juan Soto. Doesn't have to do with his walks, doesn't have to do with his offense, definitely the defense in right field. Yeah, so that was a good game. Okay, so I tried to take notes during the game, but I lasted an inning and a half, and I was just sitting there watching and taking everything in. I will say this. It was frustrating to see them hit into so many double plays, but it was also good to see them get on base as much as they did via walks and different ways of doing it. Volpe, what a game for Volpe. 3 walks, unbelievable. He looks so much better at the plate. I'm envisioning, I know it's a very small sample size and you know, it's just spring training in the first game of the season, but I am envisioning a really good year for Anthony Volpe. I agree. They should have won that game, like, 11-4. I definitely agree with that. Yes, they were very brutal. Also, let's not take away from Verdugo, that one running play that he made. I really thought that ball was going to get away from him, and he made a really great play just beyond the Crawford boxes. Oswaldo Cabrera hitting the first Yankees home run of the season, of course, because that's what everyone would have predicted. Yep, that was a really good play by Verdugo. I was impressed by that. Verdugo and Soto contributing in the first game in different ways. Nestor, retiring 12 of the last 13 guys he faced. He had 33 pitches in that first inning, and then he went the rest of the game only throwing about 30 something more than that. So, just unbelievable performance by him. That could have been really, really disastrous. He could have been taken out in the first inning. Nick Birdie was already warming up. It could have been a completely different game, and thank God Nestor settled down. Yeah. I agree with this too, Jack. It's too early to be stressed. It's also too early to play the Astros for 4 games. Who scheduled this? Who is the person that made this schedule? I don't think so. I don't think so. I just think I think he'd be fine leading off. It wasn't my ideal lineup, and I know the lineup was different than what I envisioned it being. Volpe was a little more toward the middle than I thought. I didn't think Stanton would be hitting cleanup. I figured Rizzo would be hitting cleanup. But I think Glaber will be fine in the leadoff spot. I think so. He really did. That was huge. That was really, really huge of Nestor to come back the way that he did. Oh, I'm just watching. I have Yes on to the side of me, and they just showed the Soto throw. Oh, speaking of, what do you guys think of the road uniforms now? The new ones, without the piping, without the white around the letters? Because I like them. I wasn't sure at first. Yep. I agree with that too, Andrew. Because those first few innings were rough. With Nestor pitching the way he was pitching in the first inning and a half, and the double plays, and Valdez getting out of trouble. The Yankees had 10 strikeouts, but 9 walks. Volpe had 3 of them. And yeah, see, I turned the volume down and they started coming back. So I feel you on that. I'm just as superstitious. I really am. Oh, I just saw that. Yeah, I'm wondering about this. I wonder if Oswaldo hitting the home run helps his case, because would you not play a guy who hit a home run the game before? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I at first I wasn't sure about the uniforms, and now I'm kind of like, yes. I'm so sorry. I have a cat hair on my lip and I can't get it off. Judge was worrying me just a little bit with his at-bats. There was one swing that he took that he really missed badly on the ball, and I thought he hurt himself, but he seems to be fine. Yes. Altuve. The Astros are really scary. That entire lineup is really scary because they all have a chance to do something whenever they're up. Not that the Yankees aren't a scary lineup too, but I'm always afraid of Altuve, always afraid of Yordan Alvarez. My God, he's just, every time he comes up to bat, not quite Big Papi status yet for me, but getting close. I'm not. There were a couple of calls that James Hoy, the home plate umpire, who's supposedly a hitter's ump, was, I don't know. Some of the calls he made were kind of questionable, and I'm not worried about him yet. It's only game 1. I did love that he got an infield single, because of all people to get an infield single, definitely Giancarlo Stanton would be your first bet. Yeah, I think he earned the right to play in game 2. I do. I mean, they're playing 4 games in Houston anyway. So, they're playing 7 games in a row because they have 4 against Houston, 3 in Arizona. So there's time for Birdie to play. Yeah, I don't know what they were saying, because they kept saying the scouting report said, oh, he's a hitter's ump. And in the start of the game, there was a call that Judge actually got that was low, that I thought he was going to call for a strike. And then he called the same pitch a strike later in the game, and his strike zone changed. Yeah. So it's the first day. Yankees are 1-0. The rest of baseball, some interesting stuff happening. Corbin Burns pitched really, really well for the Orioles, struck out 11 against the Angels. His only blemish was the Mike Trout home run. I feel like that's going to be the story of the Angels all season. Mike Trout's going to be the only one that does anything, and the rest of the team isn't really going to do anything. The Blue Jays, I believe, beat the Rays. The Dodgers were beating up on the Cardinals. Yes, I agree, Freddie. I said it earlier. I really feel like he's going to have a really good season. He doesn't need to hit the snot out of the ball. He just needs to hit. He doesn't need to try and hit the home run. That's what Judge is there for. That's what Stanton is there for. Rizzo, even Soto, Verdugo. You don't need Volpe to hit the ball 350, 400, no, 400 feet. You just need him to get on base and wreak havoc on the bases and get things going. And like I said, it's a small sample size, but so far I'm impressed with how Volpe has been doing in the spring. And I feel like today showed what he's capable of because he was really patient. There were some close pitches that he probably would have swung at last year. He looked great. I was impressed with him. Very impressed. See, I can't do the Soto shuffle because he kind of goes really low, and I can't do that. I'm too old for that now. Yeah, it's still unbelievable, right? He's been a Yankee the whole spring, and it still feels like it's not real. Yeah, I feel like this game, this could have easily been one of those games where they just give up, especially with the starter pitching the way he did in the first inning and all the double plays and not being able to do certain things. And they scratched and they clawed their way back into that game. That's what you want to see from them. Yes. Yeah, that was nice too. I did have a couple of moments though early in the game. Torres and Soto got on base ahead of Judge against Valdez because they kind of had Valdez up against the wall in the first inning, and then Judge swung on the first. It was the first pitch, right? And I got really angry, and I thought baseball is back. I'm already cursing at my TV. This is great. I missed it so much. I don't know. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay. If he's still like this in May, let's get worried, but I'm not going to get worried about him after one game. Possibly. Although I did see, I think it was 2005. I was at a game on a Sunday and Jason Giambi, because they were shifted so far, bunted for a double. Can't remember who that was against. May have been against the Angels. I'm trying to remember who they were playing against, but I never understood why Giambi, when they were really shifting over for him, why he didn't just stick his bat out and do that. I know. We're all acting like, oh, one game, and it's exciting though, because you want to win the first game of the season, especially on the road, especially in Houston against them. But the Yankees don't have trouble beating Houston in the regular season. It's the it's the playoffs that they have the problem with. Mm. Yeah, tomorrow's the real test. Tomorrow's the real test. I'm a little worried about Rodon against Houston because, as I said, that entire lineup scares me. I mean, did you see Jake Myers hitting a 415-foot home run at 110 miles an hour? Because I didn't even know Jake Myers was a person. So, they always seem to get these guys where you're like, who is this person? I mean, think about all the guys that Houston has in that lineup. Aside from Altuve, aside from Alvarez, you have Tucker, you have McCormick is scary. Bregman is always annoying. Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? That'd be great. That'd be great. Impossible, but that'd be great. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm a little worried about it too. I'm not worried about the bullpen though. Bullpen was great. And I know Holmes looks shaky, but that one play by Glaber, he didn't quite get to it. Also, I think the ball hit to Rizzo too. So I'm not as worried about Holmes. I feel like they keep finding these guys that they turn into something. I mean, look at Ian Hamilton. Loizaga, great job also. From your lips to the baseball god's ears. Let's hope so. That would be fantastic and shocking, but it would be fantastic. He does. He does. I agree with this. He does seem to be hyped to be a Yankee. He needed a change of scenery. And I know he's had trouble in both places that he's been because there were some issues with LA, famous issues in Boston. And hopefully things won't change in New York. But I feel like Judge will be a good influence on him. And it does. It feels like he's happy, really happy to be here and be with Judge. That's also a possibility. That's also a possibility. You got to be careful with that. Speaking of the rotation being thin, I do like that Cole is with the team and he's basically acting like the de facto pitching coach on the bench because Cole is that type of a player. And I feel like he could really help the staff while he's not pitching. So, yeah, that was a really impressive play. That could have been really bad. That could have been really bad. That's the worst place for a pitcher to have a ball hit in Houston if it's not caught. So, yeah, that was a really, really good play. I was impressed by that. I was impressed by that, and I was impressed by, the Soto throw. Oh, you know who else was impressed by the Soto throw? Dellin Betances tweeted about it. So he was watching the game. I always like when former Yankees are watching the game. Phil Hughes will watch the game also. I know he watches the Twins too because he was with them, but he tweets about the Yankees every once in a while. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I wonder about this. I mean, I guess we'll find out. And don't forget, tomorrow's game is on Apple TV Plus. So, Apple TV Plus Friday, Fox Saturday, and back to Yes Sunday afternoon. Me too. Me too. I really like him. I also love that Soto is so good with the strike zone that when the ump makes a bad call on him, he like turns around and talks to him like, sir, what are you doing? Because I know the strike zone and you are not right. Yes, Apple TV already. Fox and Apple TV already. Hey, just be thankful that it's not an ESPN game on Sunday. They save those for the Yankee Red Sox matchups, even though Yankee Red Sox matchups aren't anything like they were 20 years ago. We'll see. We'll see how Rodon does tomorrow. It's funny. I woke up this morning with a good feeling. I felt like the Yankees were going to win. And even when they were down 4-0, I just thought to myself, just keep them at 4 and maybe chip away. But when they weren't really hitting, I thought, okay, maybe that's not going to happen. And once they tied it, I felt pretty good about it. I just really I wanted more insurance runs because I didn't feel comfortable with the 1-run lead that they had, but I was wrong. They were fine. So yeah, for Nestor, I'm watching Yes is on right now. So 6 of the first 9 guys against him reached base, and then he retired 12 out of the last 13. So he really, really settled down. And it was funny. Someone on Twitter actually said that they thought Nestor looked nervous walking to the dugout, which I thought, I mean, why would he be nervous? And I don't know. He's kind of pitching like he was. He was throwing a lot of balls up in the zone or beyond the zone and just looked almost out of control in that first inning. So, yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. Some teams you feel okay with a 1-run lead, but against the Astros, again, all those guys on that team, I don't feel good either. I don't blame you. Yeah, but he did okay. I was a little worried about him because he looked a little iffy in Mexico City, but he recovered nicely. Loizaga. I feel like Loizaga is the type of guy, he just really needs to stay healthy because when he's healthy, he's really, really good. I mean, I really thought that kid was going to turn into the closer for the team. I thought that that's what he would become. And he's just had so many injuries that it just messes with him. And maybe he can be King in King's absence. That would be great. Yep. I agree with this. It is a lot more balanced. And I think that's probably why, um, or maybe not. I'm trying to think why he put Stanton in the cleanup spot. I was a little surprised by that. Yeah, I feel like the bullpen has a chance to be all-time good. That's true. That was a good get. That's probably going to be one of the better acquisitions that the Yankees made in the offseason. I mean, let's be real. I know people complain about how the offseason went for the Yankees, but they got Juan Soto. They got Juan Soto. They got Caleb Ferguson. Um, they have guys that they have, like guys like Nick Birdie, who had a really good spring. Like he feels like an Ian Hamilton, coming out of nowhere and pitching really well. I'm gonna chat GPT the lineup one day and see what it comes up with because that would be pretty funny. Chat GPT is actually pretty useful because I write fiction and I use it to come up with character names if I can't think of good names. So chat GPT is pretty good. Yeah, I think I said that on yesterday's show. That's my bad. But I also let you know that Trevino had never gotten a hit off him, and he still doesn't have a hit off him. So, yeah, Valdez's pitches were moving crazily. He has some sick movement on those pitches, and he's known to make guys hit into ground balls. So it's not surprising that the Yankees had that many double plays because he's just that type of a pitcher. Okay, I'm trying to read all the comments. Um, I think is he hurt? I think he's hurt, right? Isn't Nick Ramirez hurt? I have not. No one is ever going to see them. I just write because it comes out of my head, but I don't want anyone reading it. Yeah. Although I did, all right, let me tell you this. And I think I mentioned this on the show once when Steve was still with me. I wrote a manuscript 20 years ago that dealt with a famous baseball player named Dane Jackson. Just think of whose initials those were. Meets an ordinary New York woman, starts dating her after dating models and actresses and stuff like that. And just think of it that way. But the theme was going to be they meet in spring training. No, meet in winter ball, start dating in spring training. Their relationship goes throughout the whole season. And of course, because it's like a chicklet book, they'd break up around the playoffs and then get back together in the World Series. I got it up to 30,000 words. I still have that manuscript. I should finish it. But right now it seems very antiquated because there's still answering machines. There's no smartphones because I started writing it in 2003. So, yeah. Oh. Well, I can't put that comment up there, Sunil, because there's a naughty word there. Yes, it was a very nice win. Wasn't I don't think it was an ideal way for the Yankees to win. Like the only really big hit was Oswaldo. But a win is a win. It shows up as a win in the box score. They're 1-0 right now. And with the way the game started, it could have been a lot worse. That's basically kind of, yeah, because I was very into Sex in the City back then, as every person my age. And yeah, yes, I admit it. But yeah, the baseball player was Dane Jackson, like Derek Jeter, because he was based on Derek Jeter. What can I say? Not quite. which I still have never seen that movie, and I refuse to I will never see that movie, ever. You could offer me a suitcase full of money, and I will never, ever, ever watch that movie. Yeah, I was too. As I said earlier, it felt good to curse at the TV, that's how you know baseball's really back when you get angry in the first or second inning of a baseball game of 162. That's how you know baseball's back. I appreciate all of you, seriously. We're almost at 6,000 subscribers, and well, I could say this, I'm getting a new co-host. He'll be starting with me soon. So, it'll be me and another person, and, he's a big Yankee fan, and it'll be fun. So, um, we'll have more info about that next week. I believe he'll be starting next week, so, it'll be fun. Yeah. It certainly seems like it. Yeah, I'm not sure if they should do that. Um, I mean, he got out of it, but yeah, I don't want them to run him into the ground because, as I said, he's always had injury problems. It's always like shoulder stuff, and you don't want to have him pitch too much. Yeah, I wish. I wish that would be awesome. I love Derek Jeter on TV. I think he's funny. I think he's um, a smart aleck, and I think it's great. Hey, that would be great. If we could get to 6,000 subscribers before the home opener, that would be fantastic. By the way, you're a year older than me because I'm turning 50 in August. So, yeah, yeah. That's the one good thing about it. Like, yes, it was annoying there were 10 strikeouts. Yes, it was annoying that there were so many double plays, but the walks were great. Again, Volpe, totally impressed by that. I feel like Volpe of last year wouldn't have had the kind of at bats that he had today. So, um, yeah, I feel like the team is going to be better than people think. I really feel that way. Also, someone said nice hat. Thank you. I think you said that like 20 minutes ago, and I'm just remembering that you said that, but thank you. I have all my hats back there. Yes. Actually, I saw he posted something on Instagram about that because he did an interview with Cal Ripken Jr., and they were talking about how he did the skit with Wells and Cone where they were all dressed up as women, and Jeter didn't know that they were doing that. And he just was like, "Oh my god." Yes. That was so funny. So who do you guys think should be the player of the game? I feel like I don't know. I don't know. There are a couple of candidates. Like, I really love what Volpe did. Soto with that throw could make him player of the game. Um, even actually, it's pretty funny. Nestor lasted longer than Valdez. Valdez got taken out sooner. So, yeah. I would agree with this. I would agree with this. Yep. Or Oswaldo. Oswald is still injured. I agree with this. Yep. I agree with this. I think a lot of those guys will be helped by Soto and his shuffle and his patience at the plate. He's just unbelievable. Honestly, I didn't really watch Soto a lot. I watched him in the World Series in 2019, obviously. But, it's not like the Yankees played the Nationals a lot. It's not like they played the Padres a lot, although we did get to see him when he was with the Padres. But I'm so excited to get to watch Juan Soto every day. It's going to make things so much fun. Well, now you can't watch any games because they started scoring after you turned it off. I'm just kidding. I agree with this. I really thought that I thought he was going to bat leadoff today. But if he shows the patience that he showed today, and if he keeps doing that, and the hit up the middle was good, yeah, I feel like he could be a really good leadoff hitter. He's cutting down on the uppercut swing, and he would be the perfect leadoff hitter because he's pesky on the bases. He has Soto and Judge behind him. I mean, this could be a really scary lineup if all those guys get their stuff together. Okay, so did anyone else freak out when he got hit by the pitch? Because I was like, "Are you kidding me? Really?" We don't need that. We don't need that. But yeah, no, Rizzo looked good. I was just really frightened by the hit by pitch and thought that he got hit in the wrist. And I mean, we may find out that something happened even though he played the rest of the game. Yeah, I agree with this. I still don't understand why Rizzo wasn't fourth and Stanton fifth or even sixth. I was surprised that Stanton was cleanup. That kind of shocked me when I saw the lineup. Wasn't that shocked by Glaber leading off? That's happened before. But Stanton really shocked me in the cleanup spot. He is. He is. They're all tough guys, though. I mean, these guys get balls thrown at them at 90 plus miles an hour all the time and hit by pitches and just unbelievable. I mean, Rizzo is on top of the plate, but that ball really just came in on him. And again, it really scared me that I thought it hit him somewhere in the wrist area. But I mean, he stayed in the game. He looked fine. So. Yeah, I agree with this too. Yeah. He'll work his way up to it. But, ooh, it could be fun, though. If he does get that new swing settled and really starts to walk and just get on base and then start stealing bases and yeah, it would be really great. Yeah, this is probably just a being Boone kind of thing, putting him in the cleanup spot. I could see that. Yeah, I can't put that up. I can't put up certain comments with certain words in there. I'm gonna get in trouble. I still have the post game on, although I have it muted, so I don't know what Jack Curry is actually saying right now. So, but yeah, no, good first game for the Yankees. Very exciting. What a relief just to get the first game out of the way and for it to be a win, especially against the Astros in Houston, which seems to be a house of horrors for the Yankees. Oh, okay. Juan Soto, since last season, has had 11 outfield assists, which ties him for 7th in Major League Baseball. So, there you go. Yeah. Just gotta wait for Cole. They did say on the game that Cole's elbow feels good. He said it feels good. He doesn't have any pain, and hopefully he can be back at the low end of that. What was it, 10 to 12 weeks? So, I mean, I don't want them to rush him back, but knowing that his elbow isn't hurting him anymore is a good thing. Yeah, like I'm envisioning what the Yankees of the 90s were like when they had like Jeter and Knobloch at the top. Like that kind of a thing. My dad used to always joke. He would always say, "Let's get 5 in the first," and because it always felt like the Yankees always scored. That could be revisionist history, but it always felt like they scored. Oh, whoops. I hit that too fast. Yeah, I mean, he still kind of has to go through like a spring training. I mean, it's not going to be as long as a spring training. You might have to do a couple of rehab starts, but you know, um, I love it. I wouldn't have predicted him to be the first person to hit a home run for the Yankees, but stranger things have happened. I did predict, and I tried to find the tweet and I couldn't find it, but I did predict Ronald Torreyes to be the first person to hit a home run for the Yankees in 2017. And I also predicted Luke Voit was going to be the first Yankee to hit a home run in 2019. So I missed my shot. I wouldn't have picked Oswaldo, though. I don't know who I would have picked, but it wouldn't have been Oswaldo. But it's always someone like that. Not that Voit was a surprising one, but Torreyes. Who would have picked Torreyes in 2017? Ooh. Maybe 7th. Is that considered bottom? 7th is considered bottom. Maybe 7th. Maybe 6th. I don't know. We'll see. Well, they have Birdie, who can play third, along with Oswaldo. So, you know, when DJ first came over here, he was going to be like not quite a utility guy, but they didn't expect him to come over and do what he did. So, lately, I'm finally back to being able to work out because COVID really kicked my butt. I got it in December and I still wasn't breathing right in February, and I'm finally feeling back to normal. And I've worked out 4 out of 5 days this week on the bike. So yes, it's treating me well. Love that thing. Why, thank you. There are sometimes I'm good with predicting things and other times when I'm terrible. But isn't that always the way? People aren't always good at predicting things, unless you're Nostradamus. And although he wasn't that good at predicting things too. He was good a couple of times, but well, I mean, they have guys to play for him. So it's, I feel like even if they don't have DJ, I feel like Juan Soto helps that lineup so much just by being there, And I feel like Verdugo is going to contribute. They both contributed today. And I just feel like the lineup's a lot more balanced. And I feel like if someone is lost for a while, like someone like a DJ is lost for a while, it's not going to hurt them so much. I'm pulling for him too. I love Oswaldo. He seems like a really good kid. He's willing to do anything to help the Yankees. He has how many gloves because they, want him to play so many positions. And yeah, I really want him to do better. Yeah, Cashman doesn't have the extensions haven't been great. I'm thinking of that. I'm thinking of Aaron Hicks. I'm thinking of Luis Severino. There are a few that didn't work out well. He's just great. I said it earlier. I'm so looking forward to watching Juan Soto all year. Like I said, I didn't really get to see him when he was with the Nationals, and it's going to be a pleasure to watch him every single day. Yeah. Thank you, Red Sox and Verdugo thank you, Alex Cora and Verdugo for not liking each other. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. Sorry. But yes, if you want to hit the like button and subscribe, feel free. Your daughter was born on 6606. That's so cool. I remember that game. Kyle Farnsworth threw that pitch, right? That was 6606. I remember that well. I was living in my apartment in Manhattan. Yep. I remember dates. I don't remember why I walk into a room these days, but I remember specific dates. There was a game I went to in July of 2005 against the Indians, then the Indians, now the Guardians. Jason Giambi hit a home run off Jake Westbrook that looked like it went 3/4 of the way up the right field bleachers. It was like that plane. It had a flight attendant on it, that home run. It was a really hot day in July. And yeah, like I remember random games like that. Yeah, Farnsworth. Yeah. That's a long time. That's 18 years ago? That's crazy. Me too. Me too. I love Peraza. I feel like he hasn't gotten a fair shake. I feel like things have happened that have not been good for him. And I feel like he could be a really good player if he just gets the time to play. And, the injuries get cut down. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for pointing this out because I said this earlier in the stream. James Hoy supposedly is a good hitter's ump. And I said in that, was it Judge's first at bat? He didn't call the low strike on him. It hit right around his knees and he called it a ball. And I thought, oh, hey, finally, it's 2024. Judge has been in the league how many years and they're finally not calling the low strike on him. And then later in the game, he expanded the zone and called 2 low strikes on both Stanton and Judge that were below their knees. And yeah, because people don't realize how much that hurts. Like the difference between a 1-0 count and an 0-1 count is kind of big. So when the ump screws with you, it doesn't really help. Yes, I've been saying this. Because I feel like he could be a solid major leaguer if he gets the chance. And if the Yankees can't give him the chance, why hold on to him and hurt him? They're also best friends, which I think is adorable because their names are so close. Oswaldo is being interviewed right now on the post-game show. And he looks very happy. I'd be happy too. Hell, he helped his team win. It's awesome. But isn't that adorable that Oswald and Oswaldo are best friends? I had a best friend named Stacy in elementary school, so I get it. Can we talk about that? Let's talk about that because it's true. They threw him into the fire in 2022 playing infield in the ALCS against Houston. And his defense was one of the bright spots of that ALCS because nothing else was happening in that ALCS. I think he's okay. There was one swing that worried me a bit, but he seemed okay in his post-game interview. So, yeah. I agree. Well, I mean, DJ's injured. He won't be playing for a little bit. Oh, well, okay. It is kind of funny when the game was not going the Yankees' way and Nestor looked bad. They're down 4-0. And all I kept seeing from people was tweets like, oh, they couldn't get Snell. They couldn't get Montgomery. No, they didn't need pitching, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah. They still need pitching. And then, of course, seeing Corbin Burns pitch as well as he did for the Orioles today kind of stings a little bit. I feel like Grisham will start when Judge needs a day off from center field. Or maybe they'll DH him, put Grisham in center. Or maybe it'll be a day where they put Judge in right, DH Soto, and put Grisham in center field. There's a whole bunch of possibilities here. I love the Grisham edition, by the way. Like, I like that they have a legit center fielder who can be the backup center fielder as opposed to an infielder that they turned into an outfielder like IKF. No offense to IKF. He did everything the Yankees wanted him to do. I'm not sure who's pitching for the Astros, but it's Rodon. So it'll be Rodon, Stroman, Schmidt for the next 3 games. So, Stroman's starting the Fox game. That'll be fun. Well, you guys tell me if you want me to or want us to. I'm going to have a co-host starting next week. So if you want us to do live streams, I don't mind doing them. I think they're fun. This wouldn't have been as fun if they lost, if the game went off the rails and they ended up losing this game 10-0, this wouldn't have been as fun of a live stream. Thank God they came back and won the game. Oh, yeah, great. They haven't done that well. Yes, it is. It is a Greek name. Yes. Apparently, we lost an O because it's supposed to be Gotsoulias. So I don't know when we lost the O, but we did at some point. My father was Greek. I mean, I will. I don't mind doing them at all. And even, maybe even on weekends when I don't normally do shows, I can do live streams. I don't mind doing it. I just sit and hang out with you guys. It's fun. Yeah, true. They also didn't have Juan Soto, though. I think Rodon might surprise us tomorrow. Don't hold me to that, though. I mean, it would be nice. Yeah, he is. I mean, Valdez is too. Valdez's pitches were moving really crazily today. He induces a lot of ground balls with his sinker, and he it would still be Gotsoulias, because SOU, the OU is an OO sound. It should be an OO sound. Wait a minute. Now that I'm thinking, yeah, because Papu is spelled Papou, Papou. Yeah, and it's Papu. So yeah. It's I don't really speak Greek because my Papu passed away when I was 5, and then my dad never taught me Greek. I wish I knew Greek. It'd be great to have a second language. Oh. That would be pretty funny. That'd be funny. No, I want Stanton to hit 2 home runs when they play the Fox game because I want John Smoltz to be upset, because I love when the Yankees do well on Fox games because you can hear the disappointment in John Smoltz's voice. So, yeah. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I could see that. But Houston is just, I know I keep saying it, but they're scary. I'm surprised the Yankees actually were able to hold them to only 4 runs, because I just don't feel right when any of those guys come up to bat. It's just like, oh no, it feels like there's no relief. I mean, the fact that they got Altuve out as much as they did today was amazing and surprising. Yeah, see, I do too. I sometimes will, I have to put the TV, let's see. I have to pause the TV, have my Alexa. I don't want to say it too loud. I don't want to go off. I listen to John and Susan on that device, but I have to then rewind the TV or pause the TV because the radio feed on Sirius XM is like a minute and a half behind. And then I can't look at Twitter because people will be way too ahead of me when I have the game a minute and a half behind. So, yeah, but I don't like listening to John Smoltz. I feel like someone on a national broadcast shouldn't be complaining about the current way that baseball's being played. He's so curmudgeonly. He's not even that old, and he's such a curmudgeon. So far, so good. So far, so good. Made a great play. Sack fly. I don't have a problem with Verdugo. I feel like he can do really well. I feel like the change in scenery will really help him. Him and Judge get along really well. And, Judge had some influence in him. He always used to joke with him about coming here. Yeah. Well, the Yankees basically ended his career too, because they beat him up when he was in Boston. toward the end of his career. So yeah, Smoltz hates the Yankees. Hello. Greed. Oh, what a cute dog. That's a cute dog. In your what's that called? Profile picture. Oh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of who played left field. There were so many there were so many people playing left field last season. They had talked about that on the pregame. I think it was the pregame. They were talking about how many different people played in the outfield. Cute. Yep, he did. He's great. Just all the pitches that he sees and yeah. I was on It's About the Money. We had a podcast that like no one listened to. Because I used to write for It's About the Money. I think that was the only podcast I did, right? Yeah. I used to go on other people's podcasts. But yeah, I've been doing I didn't do all of 2018. I didn't start doing it till July of 2018, but this is technically my 7th season doing this. So, which is crazy. Yeah. Oh, you listen to it? Yeah. I used to be terrified. I was terrified to do podcasts, and I went to school for this, which is even fun. Not podcasts, because they didn't have podcasts in the 90s when I went to college, but I went to school to be a broadcaster. So for me to be afraid of podcasting was really silly, and now it's like second nature. Yeah. Yeah. I know some people were talking about how they wanted the John Miller, Joe Morgan booth back, and I thought to myself, no, not Joe Morgan. Thank you so much. And yes, let's go Yankees. I do, not as much as the Yankees. Yankees are my number one. And then it's like Knicks, Rangers, Giants all bunched up together. That's how I root. There was a time in the 90s I was really into basketball, though, when I was in college, when the Knicks were really, really good. Yes, this can be, yeah, of course he is. I would be sour too, especially being up. Think about 1996, okay? Think about they outscored the Yankees 16-1 in Yankee Stadium, then get swept in their home stadium in 3 games, and then the Yankees win game 6 to win. And then they get swept in 4 games in 99. I'd be annoyed too if I were John Smoltz. I get it. They did. They did. That would be something. That would be something. Actually, did I have a chance to go to game 7 in 94? I'm trying to remember if my dad made the mistake of not saying yes to tickets for that. I think that's what happened. Unbelievable. All right, so how are we doing? Oh, it's almost an hour. My goodness. Thank you for being here with me for this. Wow, this went by really fast. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Ooh. There's been so many bad. You mean playoffs or regular season? Because playoffs, I feel like game 7 against the Diamondbacks. That hurts my heart worse than losing in 04. I feel like 01 was just because of the emotion of everything that happened that fall, and just, Soriano hitting that home run and Mo coming in, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to win. And then within minutes, they lose. And yeah, I feel like 01 is probably the worst. Although I didn't really enjoy, I was at game 5 of the 07 division series against Cleveland. And that was my first time attending a series loss game. I had been to series wins, but I had never been to a loss. I had been to losses during series in the playoffs, but I'd never been at the deciding loss, and that was rough. I didn't like that at all. I don't. Yes, this series, this awful Midge series. Awful, awful, awful. Yeah, see, it's funny that you said this because about a year before my father passed away, so 2013, I want to say, he and I were talking about the Rangers and the Knicks because my dad was born in 1941 and the Rangers drought started in 1940 and then they won in 94. And I said, well, the Knicks won their last championship the year before I was born, so maybe they're not going to win their next championship until I'm 53. My dad's like, the Knicks are never winning again. Yeah, if I can go back into time, back in time, and Jeff Gillooly, Dave Roberts, if you get that reference. No, Jeff Gillooly didn't do it. The big guy did it. Jeff Gillooly ordered the big guy to do that to Nancy Kerrigan, right? I'm just kidding. I don't wish violence on anyone. But ugh, yeah. That was like a slow motion car wreck. 04. You kind of felt it coming, right? Like after they lost game 4 and you're kind of like, oh, something doesn't feel right about this. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I would like that too, because again, they didn't win. They won the year before I was born, and they haven't won. 94 was pretty much as close as we got. The Knicks I like watching the Knicks now. It's fun. It's great when New York basketball does well. I miss those days. Oh, I hope not. I hope not. No. Yes. Yep. Apple tomorrow night, Fox Saturday, but back to yes for Sunday afternoon. So, like I said, I joked earlier in the stream before you came on, thank goodness it's not an ESPN game. Because there's nothing more annoying than all the games of the series being on different channels and networks. I don't know. Well, there was that infamous sign when the Rangers finally won, "Now I can die in peace." My dad thought that was the funniest thing ever. Actually, one of my favorite signs that I ever saw was 01 when the Yankees beat the Mariners in the ALCS, and that person had the sign that said, "It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that ring," because they had won 116 and everyone was making such a big deal about it, and then the Yankees beat them in the ALCS anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I had posed this question on today's show. Would you guys prefer, and a lot of people in the chat last night said yes. Do you think that the Yankees road to their next World Series should go through Houston? Do you feel like they should slay that dragon? Do you feel like it would be better and feel better if they finally beat them? Because I felt that way in 09 when they finally beat the Angels, but I also thought that they would have an easier time beating the Angels because it was a 7-game series in 09. I feel like the 5-game series can go either way. It doesn't matter if a team's better than the other one. It's just like one bad game for one team and it can change the whole thing. Oh, wait. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, if the 2017 ALCS were reversed and the Yankees had the 4 games at home, they would have won that series. They would have won that series. Without a doubt in my mind. And I said that even before we found out about the cheating. Yes, it was. I said that earlier too. I just like the patience that he showed. There were some pitches that he took that he would have swung at and swung out of his shoes at last year, and he looked a lot better. I agree. Oh, they're re-showing the game. I was like looking at my computer like, wait, what's happening right now? They're re-showing the game on Yes, in case you missed the earlier part of the game and want to see Nestor look horrible and then recover and do well. Oh God, we're over an hour. Okay, we're gonna have to end this because that's too much. I think it's too much, right? I mean, I can hang out, but I think an hour might be too much. Rizzo's arm appears to be okay. He stayed in the game and he made a couple plays at first, so I think he's okay. I think he's okay. I agree with this. I do. The lineup is a lot more balanced than it's been in years, and really Soto helps so much. He really does. I am recording it probably in the morning because I'm not putting it up until noon. I got to work on some graphics for it for Fan Mail Friday because there's a whole like to do that I have to do. So yeah, I'm getting better at the graphics. I screwed up on the background last night. I made it and then I forgot to put it up, and then I was having internet issues and I couldn't edit it because it took me so long to download the episode. It was just a whole mess. So, but I'm getting better at editing and making the show look good. So Steve helped me a lot with that. So thank goodness for Steve. Thank you. I will get better at streaming. I'm not used to this, so I don't really know how to do it other than looking at your comments and reacting to them. I watch other people stream on YouTube, but they like react to videos and stuff. So, and I can't show baseball on here. I'd get in trouble. I agree with this. It is very, very nice having him. The bench's flexibility is a big thing. The outfield defense, big thing, because you have actual outfielders now who can play the outfield. Like I said earlier, Grisham, what a good add-on to the Soto deal. That's going to be another one of those underrated moves. Right. Because if the Red Sox won in 04, but they didn't go through the Yankees, especially with what happened the year before against the Yankees, yeah, it would have been completely different for them. Like, it would have been a big deal, obviously, because they ended the curse. But going through the Yankees is what made that special for them. So, yeah. I mean, as much as I wouldn't like it for my anxiety, I guess the Yankees would have to go through Houston. So, thank you. I appreciate that. It did on the first day. Do we need this stress on the first day? We have 161 left. It's too much. I was joking about that when it was only 5-4 and I wanted them to get more runs. And then Holmes was kind of looking, and I thought, oh no, this can't, I can't deal with this 161 more times. That's also a good point. As much as I don't like them playing the first 4 against the Astros in Houston, it gets them out of the way. So yes, that's a good point, Val. All right. Thank you for joining me on this live stream. This was very easy to do, by the way. I'm very impressed with how easy it is to do this we do this on StreamYard and it like takes 2 seconds to set up. So, yeah. And I feel a little better going into tomorrow because it also takes the pressure off Rodon because, if you lose the first game, Nestor doesn't recover and doesn't do well, and say the Yankees lose like 8-0, and then going into the second game, Rodon would feel this extra pressure to have to win. Now, I know he probably does feel like he needs to win, and I hope he feels that way, but I feel like going into tomorrow's game, riding a victory is a lot better for him. So just let's hope everything goes well. All right. I keep saying I'm going, but I am going. So thank you so much for this. Click the like button, subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Probably not. Probably not. Just because we usually record the show after the game. But I might do live streams maybe on weekends when I don't record the show. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But again, thank you for joining. Like the stream, subscribe if you aren't subscribed. I would like to get to 6,000 before the home opener, but that's kind of a tough order. So, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really had fun. Then again, it wouldn't have been as fun if they lost. So thank goodness they won. And have a good night. Fan Mail Friday will be up at noon tomorrow. It's going to be a little later, but it'll be up. And yeah, that's it. Have a good night, everyone.